the Eagles aren't satisfied. They're not relaxing. They're reloading. After winning the Super Bowl, some teams slow down. Not this one. Right now at minicamp, the Eagles are sending a clear message to the rest of the NFL. We're not done. We want more. From young stars making noise to veterans pushing harder than ever, this team looks dangerous and hungrier than ever before. Let's dive into the emotional moments, breakout stars, and everything you need to know from the Eagles' latest minicamp, because this is not your average offseason update. The Philadelphia Eagles just wrapped up their mandatory minicamp, and wow, this team looks ready to explode in 2025. The energy was high, the competition was fierce, and several players proved they're not messing around. Let's start with Jordan Davis, the massive defensive tackle who continues to grow into a true game changer. He's getting faster, stronger, and more dominant. Every snap he takes makes it clear this man is going to be a problem for opposing offenses. And how about Jix Hunt, the second-year edge rusher who's starting to draw serious attention? Eagles veteran Lane Johnson himself said Hunt is ready to break out this season. When a legend like Lane gives that kind of praise, you pay attention. Jix is moving faster, reading plays better, and attacking with more confidence. He's ready to explode off that edge, but Hunt isn't the only name turning heads. According to Lane, one of the team's most underrated new additions is also making noise. The coaches love his work ethic, his teammates respect his drive, and he's coming for a bigger role fast. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, Keely Ringo made one of the biggest statements of the week. In the battle for a starting cornerback job, he stepped up and let everyone know he's not here to ride the bench. He wants that starting role, and he's fighting like it. But it's not just about the stars. We also got real updates on the position battles happening across the roster. Young guys are competing. Veterans are locking in. Every rep matters. And yes, we finally got some news about Jihad Campbell's injury status. We'll break that down in just a bit. June 10th marked the Eagles' final spring practice before training camp, and the team left the field with one message written all over their faces. We're not finished. We're just getting started. From highlights to drama, from raw emotion to sheer talent, this minicamp was packed with big stories, so stick around because this offseason might just be the beginning of something special. Last year was last year. Turn the page. That's the mindset of this Eagles team, and it's powerful. They're not living in the past. Yes, they won the Super Bowl. Yes, they made history, but that was 2024. This is a new season, a new mission, a new mountain to climb. Every player, every coach, every moment, it all starts again. These Eagles have something special. They're not satisfied. They're hungry, focused, obsessed. Every day in practice, you can feel it. They're chasing greatness again. One player summed it up perfectly. You don't repeat by thinking about the past. You repeat by doing the work all over again. Maybe this season won't look the same. Maybe A.J. Brown won't need 2,000 yards. Maybe Jalen Hurts will carry the team. Maybe the defense will have to fight even harder. But no matter what, they're ready to adjust, evolve, and dominate. And it all starts with that fire, that inner hunger. Every single player is feeding that fire right now. Coach Smart used to say, turn the page. And that's exactly what this team has done. A Jay Brown, he's already back in training, grinding. Jalen Hurts, locked in, focused. Lane Johnson, still working like a rookie. This isn't a team celebrating last year. This is a team building a legacy. And let's not forget, that kind of fire starts right here in the offseason. In these mini camps, these practices might seem small to outsiders, but inside the locker room, they're everything. Now let's talk about some big updates from minicamp, especially the most important position battles happening on the field. Let's start with the right guard position. For now, it looks like Tyler Steen is holding that job. He's been taking the first team reps in every practice, open to the media. He's strong, he's smart, and he's been working hard all offseason. Right now, it's clearly his job to lose. Head coach Nick Sirianni didn't say much, as usual, but he did hint that the real test will come when the pads go on during training camp. That's when we'll know who really owns that spot, but make no mistake, the battle is real. Kendall Green, the new guard on the block, is also in the mix. Lane Johnson praised him big time, saying he's long, strong, and has every tool you want in a future starter. Training camp is going to be a war between these two. Still, Lane had just as much praise for Steen. He said Steen is stronger, more focused, and more explosive than ever before. He's been in the gym, he's been on the field, and now it's showing. Lane even said he sees dominant traits in Steen, signs that he could become a major force on that offensive line. Now it's all about consistency, doing it every play, every week. The pressure's on, the lights are coming, and the battle for right guard could be one of the biggest stories of Eagles training camp. So far, all signs point to Tyler Steen holding down that right guard spot heading into training camp. And if you're an Eagles fan, you've got to be excited. When a veteran like Lane Johnson gives someone that much praise, it means something. Steen isn't just filling a spot, he's fighting to become a real force in 2025. But let's move to another battle, one that's heating up fast, the safety position. Right now, it's between Sidney Brown and Andrew Mukaba. Both players have serious talent, but Sidney Brown is starting to pull ahead. He's been in the league 3 years, he knows the system, and during Tuesday's practice, he took most of the starting reps, even though Mukaba saw the field too. That doesn't mean the race is over. It's still tight, and this fight will likely last all the way through August. But right now, Brown has the edge, and he's doing everything he can to keep it. Now, let's talk about a battle that might be decided sooner than expected. Cornerback. This one's between Kaylee Ringo and Adoree Jackson. And honestly, Ringo is on fire. The Eagles drafted him for a reason, and he's showing why. In minicamp, he's been getting the first team reps, and he's not wasting the opportunity. Ringo locked down A.J. Brown on one rep and even made Jalen Hurts think twice about throwing in his direction. Then, with the second team, he broke up 2 passes, one to Danny Gray and another in the back corner of the end zone. This wasn't just a solid day, it was a statement. Ringo is coming for that starting job, and he's not slowing down. But it wasn't just Ringo who stood out on the defensive line. Jordan Davis made some serious noise. He's in the best shape of his life, according to both him and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, and it's showing. Fangio even pointed out how much Davis has improved as a pass rusher, especially toward the end of last season. Now he's building on that, and Tuesday's practice was proof. He got a sack on Jalen Hurts, and he teamed up with rising star Jix Hunt to give all-pro tackle Jordan Mailata a rough day at practice. Think about that. Jordan Mailata is one of the best in the league, and these two made life hard for him all practice long. That's scary good. And speaking of Jix Hunt, the hype is getting real. This guy was once seen as a developmental project, and now he's out here getting sacks on Jalen Hurts and pushing past elite blockers like it's nothing. His rise has been fast. Last year, Hunt struggled just to hang in. Now, he's a real problem for offenses. You can feel it. A breakout season is coming, and not just for Hunt, but for Jordan Davis too. Let's rewind for a moment. Just last season, Jix Hunt was still learning the ropes. Now, fast forward to this offseason, and the last time we saw him on the field, he was in the Super Bowl, getting half a sack on Patrick Mahomes and causing chaos in the backfield. And now, back in practice, he's doing the same thing. Dominating. He's stronger, faster, and smarter. And people are noticing, including Lane Johnson, who said this: "I think this is going to be a big year for him. He's got all the tools, he's gained weight, and I really believe it's going to be a breakout year." That's not just hype. That's confidence from one of the best in the game. And I agree with Lane. It's hard not to believe in Jix Hunt right now. He's playing like a man on a mission in his second year. But Lane didn't just praise Hunt. He also talked about the edge rusher group. And one name really stood out: Josh Uche. The Eagles picked him up as a free agent, and Lane Johnson made it clear. Uche is different. I remember playing him when he was with the Patriots. He's quick, versatile, plays low, and can get under you. He beat me on a move once. I remember it. He's just a really talented guy. That's coming from an all-pro tackle who's seen it all. So when he singles out Uche as the most impressive guy this spring, that means a lot. And if you've followed this channel, you know I've been high on Uche's potential for a while now. Sure, his sack totals haven't always been huge, except for 2022 when he had 11.5 sacks, but his pressure numbers have always been elite. And now he's in Philly on a cheap one-year deal with something to prove. We've seen this story before. Just look at what Zach Bond did last season. Another low-risk signing who turned into a major contributor. Even Bond himself talked about that. He said Coach Nick Sirianni brings up his story to inspire guys like Uche, players on short deals trying to earn their spot. And Uche, he's listening. He's locked in, focused, and ready to break out. He wants to follow that same path. And from what we've seen so far in practice, he's on the right track. Now let's flip over to the offense, where the big names are already showing up strong this spring. Jalen Hurts was a machine at minicamp. He went 20 for 21. Yes, just one incompletion, with a touchdown and 0 interceptions. And that one touchdown might have been the best play of the entire spring. He launched a perfect 30-yard deep ball to Devonta Smith for the score. Not only that, he also tossed a touchdown to Terrace Marshall, who beat Nakobe Dean across the field on a crossing route. Honestly, Hurts looked sharp, focused, and dangerous. And that should make every Eagles fan even more excited about what's coming this season. Now, whether that second touchdown from Jalen Hurts really happened or not, we'll let that slide. But here's what we do know for sure. Hurts finished spring camp 50 for 55 with 0 interceptions. That's elite. That's the kind of performance that tells you this man is ready for a serious 2025 campaign. But it wasn't just the starters making noise. 2 unexpected wide receivers stood out during minicamp and OTAs, Terrace Marshall and Danny Gray. Marshall was the possible recipient of that beautiful Hurts touchdown throw, and Gray, multiple reporters said he had one of the most impressive springs of any receiver on the roster. Now, they're not household names yet, but both guys are fighting for spots on the final 53-man roster. And the fact that they're turning heads right now, that matters. And here's more good news. First-round draft pick Jair Campbell was finally spotted at practice with a helmet on. The linebacker was doing light position drills, a major step forward in his recovery from shoulder surgery. No, he's not fully back yet, and it'll still take time. But just seeing him on the field was an encouraging sign. The Eagles know what kind of player Campbell can be, and this is the progress everyone's been waiting for. With mandatory minicamp now complete, the Eagles head into summer break. But even though practices are on pause, there's still plenty to watch. Roster battles, injury recoveries, and rising stars. And when training camp returns, all eyes will be on Philly to see who's ready to make the leap and who's ready to lead this team in 2025.